Ooh. Okay, so on the note, try again. We're looking at High West's bottled in bond rye. It is a pot still rye, nearly 5 years old, bottled in bond, 80% unmalted rye, 20% malted rye, 100 proof because all bottled in bond whiskey is 100 proof. And again, entirely High West distillate, which is not something we've ever seen in a product they've released before. This is 100% their pot still rye. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, and the price on this, by the way, 80 bucks. So not crazy. It's right up there with, kind of craft level bottled in bond rye whiskey. It's a little on the pricey side for a major brand to be releasing a bottled in bond whiskey or bottled in bond rye that's only about 5 years old. But again, it's a first release, limited release. I kind of get that. On the nose, I'm getting grain, porridge, hot cereal with like sweet notes, sweet undercurrent. So if you took like hot cereal or porridge, there's a little honey on it, a little bit of vanilla. It's sweet and grain forward. Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, some of those traditional baking spices, but the herbal notes, that herbaceousness comes in at the end. Now, for MGP distillate, I often get that at the beginning. This is coming through at the end of the nose. A lot of complexity, depth, good amount of oak, by the way. This does not nose like a really young rye whiskey. And honestly, just based purely off the nose, I'm intrigued and I'm really excited to give it an actual taste. So on the nose, I get grainy cereal notes at first. They're a little sweet, and then spice and herbal notes come in after. On the palate, I get herbs and spice at the very beginning. Nutmeg, clove, thyme, and then it becomes sweet and grainy after that. Not grainy in a bad way. It's interesting, like the nose and the palate, sometimes they sync up. You get things, you get categories of aromas and flavors in the same order. Flip-flopped here, not bad, but very, very interesting. Well, there's also nuttiness. It's almond, but it's not like fresh almond. It's like almond cookies. If you ever had baked almond cookies, ate a lot of those when I was a kid. I was a portly child. And I'm getting that here. It's like almost a borderline artificial nuttiness. And then I get some fruit kind of toward the end of the palate, like a little pop of blackberry. It's not a ton, right? I don't feel like I'm eating an apple strudel, but there is enough fruit to keep things interesting. Okay, there's also like a little bit of lemon meringue pie at the very end of the palate, which I thought was interesting. The finish is long. It's mentholy, it's minty, it's woody. It's like chewing on a menthol popsicle stick with maybe just like a little bit of fruit in the background. Kind of interesting. I gotta be honest, the finish on this was not my favorite part of the whiskey. I thought it reached a nice high point on the palate. I thought the nose was pretty good. Nice high point on the palate. The finish, just a tad of a letdown for me compared to the nose and the palate. I'm not saying it's bad, it just didn't quite hit the highs I was hoping for. So this surprised me a little bit. I was expecting to like this because I think for our first bottled in bond release, High West is a storied enough brand to where they're not gonna put out something bad, or at least I didn't expect them to. I actually liked it a little more than I thought I would, but for different reasons. I scored this a 92 out of 100, which is pretty darn high for a rye under 5 years for me, or for a rye really under 10 years for me. I often don't go up to 92, but I really enjoyed it. But yeah, am I excited to see what they're able to come up with? Maybe with age-stated rye releases, maybe older bottle and bond releases. Heck yeah. So you know what? Hat tip to High West. It takes a lot of moxie to put out your first bottle and bond release, and a lot of confidence. I think it's well-earned confidence in this scenario, and I think it's well-earned confidence from High West. Hopefully we'll see it on more shelves to come in the coming years. Until then, I'm David Thomas Tao, drinking the whiskey so you can too. I need to come up with a better catchphrase, guys.